A mere 7 days are left for the 2022 Assembly elections. Various leaders from all parties are in Goa as the elections move to a high-octane finish. On Monday, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi visited Majorda, where she made lots of promises, including 30% jobs reservation for women.
Goa is beautiful, but BJP government has ignored the state. Congress General Secretary alleged on her Hurricane Goa visit. She announced that in the Congress manifesto, Congress had decided to include women in large number in politics. 30% jobs would also be reserved for women and provision of 6,000 rupees per month would be made for women under Justice scheme. Before the present BJP government that is ruling for the past 2 terms, the Congress was in power for at last 25 years, with Pratap Singh Rani himself being Chief Minister for around 17 years. 30% of government jobs to be reserved for women. Several benefits for women, including 2 working women's hostels, an increase in number of women-men police stations. Petrol and diesel prices do not go any higher than rupees 80. Remaining amount will be subsidized. Rupees 500 crore government fund allotted to employment. Strong commitment to protect heritage and culture of Goa.
The focus is only on staying in power, and by whatever means one can stay in power. You saw the biggest example of that was what happened after the result of the last election. It was very clearly evident that power was being usurped and democracy was being upturned. Nobody, not one of them, could answer the question I asked, has your life improved in the last 5 years, with a yes. Not a single one of them. Each one only said that they had added stress. You have a flourishing tourism industry. It's been the most affected with COVID. You saw that during COVID, there was very little support for you from the government. Aside from that health support and the health services, and even helping those doctors and nurses to perform their duties, making life easier for them, rather than complicating it further, you didn't see any of that happening. I am here, and I've come all the way to say to you that you are watching what is going on around you. You have seen what has happened in the Mole forest. You have seen what has happened with the hills and the jungles of your beautiful state. You have seen how on Goa Mukti Divas, people were beaten up by the police. You have seen how heritage buildings are being harmed in old Goa. You have seen the job scams, which we are seeing all over the country under BJP rule. In government jobs which will be provided in Goa, 30% of them will be for women. There will be a working women's hostel in Margao and Panaji for working women. There will be an increase in the number of police stations which are manned by women. And the SHGs will all get 1 lakh rupees of support for each SHG. And aside from that, there are many more things which are in our manifesto. One of them is that there is a Nyay scheme in which 6,000 rupees per month will be given to all the weakest families to help them support themselves. Because one of the things that has happened after all Corona, lockdown, and so many other wrong policies of the government is that those who are poorest and weakest can no longer sustain themselves. This will also help to inject some money into the economy, and that will also help other businesses and the smaller businesses.
Hiru Male for Goa 365 from Dabolim, NUA.